And we are live. Hey, everybody. I'm so happy that you're joining us while we're in holiday season, which might be tricky for some of you. And today I have the privilege, the honor, and I am so thrilled to welcome Jane Luong. And if you don't know her yet, yeah, you better change that as soon as possible. And yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Kevin Morrow, aka Mr. Mingle. So I'm a social catalyst. And what I do, I help fellow misfits uncover their tribe by embracing their uniqueness. But today it's all about Jane. It's nothing about me. So it's her type of misfitness. And yeah, before I introduce you my way, would you like to say a few words, Jane?
I just wanted to say thank you, Kevin. I am honored to be one of your victims, and I want to give a huge round of applause to you for creating such a safe, inclusive, and diverse community for misfits like myself. So, thank you.
You're so very welcome. And yeah, I love that community that actually we kind of created because that misfit vibe, yeah, I owe it to you. So yeah, we'll get into that later probably. But yeah, you were a big influence in that. So really thanks to you. Thanks back. Oh, we already have some comments. Let's see. See ya. So good to have you. I'm so thrilled that you joined. I just joined your own feed at the very last minute, but I'm so glad that you're joining us at least for a little bit. Thank you so much. I know your day is very busy, but yeah, we'll get there. So we are so happy we have you. So let me introduce you a little bit of Jane. Jane is way too complex to be presented in more than a few words. But just so very first, Jane Luong is an advocate for the underserved, which I believe is absolutely amazing because by definition, underserved need more serving because they are underserved, right? So I'm so happy that you're doing that work, which is not an easy one, far from it. So really full respect for that. And just, hey, Randy, thank you so much for joining us as well. We probably will have a couple extra hounds in the house, even if it's in the holidays, probably we'll have a few hounds in the room. And so, Jane, so looking at your bio, there are several points that really appeal to me. So the first one, as you probably imagine, like the way you love cooking, exploring, learning, and most things Halloween, I was like, whoa, I want to know more. So it definitely triggered my interest. It definitely appealed to me. And yeah, maybe we will explore a little more of that actually. We'll see how it goes and if we have more time. Hey, Stella, thank you so much for joining. So yeah, and not a hound, at least not yet. So we're having a mixed party here. I'm really happy. And yeah, I really love also the way you say that you're not afraid to color outside the lines and even to ruffle feathers, which is very bold, I believe, because we've been told to color inside the lines, right? So for many people, it's extremely challenging to be able to color outside the lines. So I love that you encourage people to step back or step away from those lines, from those boxes, like Susanna Down says so well. I really love that. And hey, Selassie, I hope I use your name correctly, Selassie. Thank you so much for joining. I don't know you yet, but yeah, you based on your profile picture, I would love to know you more as soon as possible. And last thing, I really enjoyed what you say is this mama is on a mission to make kindness contagious, which already is like huge winner to me. and then join me or move the F out of my way. And like you won't let anyone stand in your way, and you really want to make sure you accomplish your mission. You make that kindness that we all need so much and all want so much be contagious. So would you like to comment any of those different sentences that caught my eyes?
Sure. Let's touch on the kindness part. Kindness, I feel like it never goes
I'm
out of
all ears.
season, and it doesn't cost anything. So there's a fun quote that I use often: "Sprinkle that shit everywhere." Right? It doesn't cost a thing, and I feel like it's easier to be kind than to not, and that we don't see enough of it, unfortunately. And so for me, it's really important to be a kind human and to encourage others to be kind as well. There is oftentimes we don't know what someone is going through, and when you lead with kindness, it usually is a better outcome.
I love that. And yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't cost anything. Well, maybe a few seconds or a few minutes of our time, which actually, in my opinion, is the very most precious resource we all have. But still, it doesn't have to cost hours or weeks or years of our life. It can be just a few seconds or a few minutes, and we could change the life of someone else entirely. And like, would you like? You tell me if it's off limits, but would you like to tell me, the call you had earlier today? You told me you had to finish that call with a certain gentleman. If you don't mind telling,
Yeah,
so people understand what you mean by kindness, extending kindness, and taking action, spreading kindness.
absolutely. I'm at a part in my life that I'm kind of done like saying, "Hey, let's do this." And I'm actually doing it, and I'm joining people who are taking action and are making a difference. The call that Kevin is referencing is a gentleman reached out to me and is asking for help to find resources for housing. And he found me on LinkedIn, and one of my posts, resonated with him. And so we're not even connected. He just shot me a message, and I said, please schedule a call. And he did. And we chatted for a couple minutes and just got right to the point. This is what he needs. And I said, all right, well, let me do my magic and see what we can do. And it really is about, one human helping another. What can we do? We can do a lot more. And if one person helps another, it'd be such a warmer, happier, healthier world. And, kindness can be just a smile, or, a hello, or here, do you need a jacket? It's just kindness looks different, and it really, like Kevin said, it costs a couple seconds, maybe, a couple minutes. It just depends what you give, what your heart feels like it can give. And give without any judgment, give without any expectation, give with just, your heart and being kind.
I love that. And that's the thing, actually. So it sounds super, super cliche, but whenever we extend kindness to other people, it splashes back to us. Making people feel better makes us feel better every
Absolutely.
single time. Like it's magical, and it's super, super cliche, yes, but it's so very true at the same time. And actually, hey, Betka, right? I hope I pronounce your name correctly, Betka. So thank you for joining, and so glad that you appreciate the conversation. And that's the thing. So I know, and it's super ironic because I know you as I am. You're really not into Christmas stuff, right? You're really not into celebrating Christmas. Yet you embody what I see as the real spirit of Christmas, real generosity, real kindness. And to me, Christmas is all about that. The not all the red and white big guy that property of Coca-Cola, right? We know the root, but actually, it's really extending your hand and helping people that need it the most, starting with yourself, starting with your loved ones, obviously, but extending as soon as possible to other people. And I love that you're doing that all year round and you're not waiting for Christmas. And I feel having our call today, our podcast today, just between Christmas and New Year's, I feel it's very ironic in a way and very interesting because that's the thing. The magical spirit of Christmas we're swimming into these days, and some of it's very advertised, right? Some of it very fake, but there's also sides that are super, super true and genuine. And I feel you really embody that in a beautiful way, or with other friends of you, fellow that fight against human trafficking, that fight for bettering the life of so many others, total strangers, people they never met, people they might even not like, but they still help them. Like it doesn't matter because they need help. So it doesn't even matter if they are not that type. They can't. How we say in French, they can't smell them. It's what a French saying. When you have a bad vibe about a person, you say, "I can smell that person. Je ne peux pas la sentir." Which sometimes it's quite accurate. Like, yeah, that smell coming from that person is really unbearable. I'm sorry, I can't. But still, you can extend your hand and help that person, even if you don't like their face, even if you don't like their smell. It doesn't matter. If they need you, why not extending a hand? What do you think about that?
I love that you said that because oftentimes I use that too. Like something's not doesn't smell right, and it has nothing to do with the actual smell. And you really have to kind of go with your what I call spidey senses. Love spiders. I have a spider that hangs out all year round. Yes, Christmas is not my holiday, but you know what? I had to scrape as much as I could. I have a foster daughter, and I kind of dug really deep and decorated for her. But I did do that with the boundaries of, December 20th. I was all holly jollied out, and I told her this, and I told her I love her, but I'm all Christmas out. And I sent her on her merry way to spend the holidays with her friends who love Christmas and who love New Year's. And so she is getting what she needs, and I can hold my boundaries of not having to overextend myself and be something that I'm not. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of Christmas, and I'm fine with people who love Christmas. Like you said, I give all year round. I show kindness all year round, and yes, it's the holiday spirit, but I wish that it bleeds all year round. And I hope this time, motivates and encourages people to think beyond themselves and beyond their family and their friends and thinking more about their community, and whatnot. And, to think twice when they're, out doing things, and just be more aware of their surroundings. And I feel like we all could do a little bit more. We all can do a little extra, and we can all make one person's day a little bit brighter. I can't tell you the number of times I've met people that tell me that they were gonna kill themselves, but because I asked them what their name was and I saw them that they're gonna live one more day. And it's like, wow, that's huge. And all I did was, hi, my name is Jane, are you hungry, can I get you something? And it literally took me, what, 17 seconds, and to get that kind of response in return. I just feel like as a community we need to do better. And what really pulls at my heartstrings is our veterans. You know, our veterans should not have to be struggling. Our veterans should not have to be without, and that breaks my heart when I come across a veteran on the street or a struggling veteran. And I'm learning how to support them because I know there's a lot of mental health there, but I really hope that I can encourage others to reach out. And also on the flip side, you know, if you're struggling, reach out. You know, a lot of the times I have a girlfriend, you know, down in San Diego, and she's absolutely incredible. She's like, I take care of you so you can go save the world. And I love that. You know, maybe you can't do the type of work that I love to do, but supporting the supporter counts as well. So, oh,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
just joined us, so welcome. I mean, thank you
much
for
love to you,
joining.
brother. Hmm.
And yeah, and that's the thing. So I love what you're saying. That's the thing. The frontliners, the people that are doing the work, that are helping others, that are dedicating their time and energy and often money to help others, they need to be taken care of as well. And in an ideal world, just taking care of themselves would be enough, but more often than not, it's not the case. And that's the thing I feel that most frontliners, and I don't know if you identify yourself as a frontliner, but I feel you're kind of the same. You're doing such an important job as well. So I really see you as one. And another thing, so I have the feeling that most frontliners or kindness fighters or whatever you want to call them, they have known very difficult times and they had hands toward them. Somebody reached out and helped them when they needed the most. And I feel most people helping now used to be people that needed help back then. And so I'm wondering if you'd like to share a little bit of that. So how you were able to turn your own life lemons into a delicious limoncello, and with the help of whom? Only if you want to go that way.
Oh, absolutely. So first, what I'm gonna do with the lemons, and I'm gonna cut them in cute little wedges and squeeze the juice in everyone's eye. If I'm suffering, everyone's suffering. That's classic me. No, I was inspired to do more and help more. My focus is actually um, our youth, our kids. I didn't have really anybody when I was a teen. I ended up leaving home early, and you know, at like 14, 15, you know, having three jobs, you know, going to high school. I had one teacher. I had one teacher, and I'm looking for him, Mr. Mel Sanholm. If you're out there, I'm looking for you. He believed in me. He told me that I can do anything and be anyone that I wanted. And so I'm trying to be that one person for the kids who don't have somebody. So it's uber important to me to impact our younger generation. It's not that I don't want to help, you know, adults. It's just that I feel like our younger generation just need more, and they haven't been jaded yet. They haven't been contaminated, I like to call it, yet. And so my focus is on them. But you know, I don't turn away someone who needs help. If someone needs help, I help them. I learned this summer that I am what you call a plug, that if I don't already know it, I will find it, or I will help you get what it is, what you need. So, you know, I've been dubbed the plug, which is kind of funny. Um, but yeah.
Interesting, a plug. Yeah, never heard that that expression, so I will look it up. And okay, let's explore another side of you because so for people that never met you yet, they see that Jane very kind, very sweet, and you also have a very fierce side. That might be a little bit intimidating to some people and quite surprising. And that's the thing. I love the way you fight so fiercely for the underserved, and you're ready to go several extra miles and to go very far, and you're ready to let your claws and teeth out and really embrace your honey badger side and really be almost mean in a way for the greatest good, but really do whatever it takes, even if it means scratching and biting and doing nasty things. So the good stuff happens. So would you like to say a little more and how you balance that kindness and that rebelness and that badassness? For many people, it doesn't make any sense. Like they are not supposed to be compatible. And I know you liked Heidi Mark, 2 weeks ago, and how she has a gentle rebellion in her, and how she brings gentleness and rebelness at the same time. And I'm fascinated with your own way to combine kindness and badassness. And yeah, for most people, it's like, wait, what? No, it doesn't go. It's like water and oil. It doesn't mix. It doesn't match. How do you do that?
For me, first and foremost, I'm a mom, and I think it comes from there. One of my most proud moments is raising a good human. That hasn't been easy, and I always lead with kindness, but I do whatever it takes to protect a child, and oftentimes that means, not following the rules and not following protocol. And for me, a child's safety is number one priority. And, I'm not afraid to push back, ask questions, and stand up for them. And it's so important for me to advocate for them, to advocate for themselves. Because as much as, I want to help and show them kindness and whatnot, I'm not always going to be there for them. So it's super important to show them, how to fight for themselves. And as far as, scratching, what I like to use is throat punching. I'm not allowed to throat punch, I've been told, but I'm not afraid to, right? Sometimes, sometimes you got to get ugly to get what you need, right? When kindness isn't working, you do what you need and you kind of navigate that. And sometimes it gets ugly, and I'm not afraid of that. I am not afraid to get, in the muddy muck, and I'm not afraid to draw some blood sometimes. But I can happily report that I have not been arrested at all in my whole lifetime. But I'm not afraid to get arrested um, for something that is right, my son is old enough now that I can push some more limits. Um, but yeah, I'm not afraid to do what is right for those who need it and who are either afraid or don't know um, the limits and the boundaries. So I always start with following the rules, start there and kind of work my way. And if it doesn't work, then you do what you need. So.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a little bit disheartening that sometimes we have to go that way. And there's sorry, an amazing book called Revolution Blueprint, and it's all about throwing away to get down tyrants. The very bad guys we can have in the world. The tyrants we have. How to say that? Yeah, I lost my English for a moment, but Basically, people that will abuse of their power, that will be president or emperor or king or whatever title they can have, and they will rule their country or rule their community very very harshly. And actually, there's been some studies, very fascinating studies. Like every time there was a revolution, when the revolution was non-violent, the chances to have much better outcomes for a much longer time were much higher. So it has been proved that bloody revolutions don't work. On the long scale, it feels great. Like on the moment, you're like, "Yay, we finally got rid of all that bad energy." But still, the non-violence is much much more powerful, and especially if you use humor. Humor actually is a massive weapon, very destructive weapons for all the tyrants and all the dictators in the world. Now, your own fight is something else. You're not trying to get rid of one big guy. So working against a system is something very different. And in that case, humor probably isn't doesn't cut it. It's probably not enough. I'm not sure. Like, probably it would be very interesting to see research about that. But yeah, when you're fighting a system and the failures of a system, it's very very different. And yeah, we have Brandon that just showed up. Thank you so much, Brandon. And yeah, I'm so glad that you're seeing like-minded pips. And guys, so we are almost halfway. I would love for you, if you have any questions, to just ask them in the chat, and Jane will decide if she if she wants to answer the question, but probably she will. She's a daring one. She's a bold one. So I'm confident she will answer whatever crazy question you have. But yeah, I will obviously let her choose if she answers or not.
I'm very transparent, so bring on the questions. What I do want to say that I learned recently is together, we can make a bigger impact. Before I was just kind of fighting my little battles myself, but like May, I went to a conference and I connected with incredible humans doing incredible work. And, me being an introvert, having to work with other people has been both challenging and growth. You have inspired me to get outside of my comfort zone in order to be heard further and wider. So thank you, my dear, for really pushing me, not not just out of my comfort zone, but just like a different perspective, right? Like, I would have never done this. I think you asked me, and I was like, hell no, no way, right? But then, like, I changed my mindset. I'm like, wait a second, why don't I? What am I afraid of? I hate the spotlight, I hate attention. But the flip side, someone can maybe hear and maybe I'll inspire someone. Like anytime I post on LinkedIn, it's like if I can connect with one person, winning, right? So we have to share more of the good things and the bad things, like yes, I love to help people, but guess what? I don't really like people. Does that make any sense? No, right? So, but sometimes I'm just like, I've had enough. I'm just gonna, revert to my bat cave and have a quiet time and leave me alone. Like I've got my limits and stuff. And, compassion fatigue is a real thing. As much as I love to help people and it really feeds my soul, sometimes I have enough and I know when to say, you know what, I can't help right now, but let me check in with you in 2 days, or let me, you know, I want to help and let me show you how I can help, or let me connect you with someone who can help. I'm actually really good at saying no, which is interesting. The power of no is really, really powerful and really protecting my time and energy and stuff like that. But I've really learned to connect people with other people, so I'm not doing all the work.
Yeah, I love what Royce just added. You know, the Mother Teresa's trick. I'll just start with this one, so it doesn't feel overwhelming. So you just start with this one, and who knows? Maybe you'll go with a second one afterwards, and maybe even a third. But you just go easy. I love it. James Clear. I don't know if you're familiar with James Clear and his amazing book Atomic Habits, and he's one of his very best ways to build a habit and to make it not threatening, not overwhelming. If
Hmm.
something you're very resistant with, you're like, you know what? I will just read that one page. If you're trying to read more, you just start with one page. Or if you really don't feel like running, you just run 1 minute. And you're like, oh, are you kidding me? I just put my sneakers on. I went outside. I won't just run 1 minute. It's ridiculous. I will run 2, 3, maybe 5, and before you know it, look at that. You're running for a good amount of time, or you're reading a good amount of pages. And hey, little Theodore, little Frenchie. So, guys, if you don't know Theodore, so Jane's crazy, crazy pet. Yeah, I'm not sure we can call him a pet anymore. He's like a whole person now.
Yeah, he's my service dog and my one of my best friends. He's been part of the family for about 5 years now, but he is cranky this morning.
Oh,
So
look at
so
that.
yeah, just like us, we're cranky sometimes, but he did want to make a cameo, so he is saying hi. Um, but he actually does a lot of great work with survivors that I work with. He gives them a lot of comfort and protection, and so he does this work too. And I make sure he has breaks and time off as well, because we know it's a lot of work. But we're gonna let Theodore say hi and bye.
And yeah, I love that. That's the thing. And actually, it creates a beautiful bridge for my next question. So, how do you promote collaboration and co-inspiration? And that's the thing. So, Theodore is one of your collaborators. He's working with you. He's really doing the work side by side with you. He's extending, expanding your ability to serve and your ability to help. So it's one of the ways you are enjoying to really collaborate. But I know you're very very keen on really promoting that collaboration and promoting that people help each other and co-help and gather together even if they don't like each other too much and really co-create and plant beautiful seeds that can be harvested over time. So I really want to know how do you promote that? And it's actually very fascinating because, as you mentioned, your introversion is quite strong. So you have limited ability to go in the wild and connect with others, and then you have to go back home and recharge and find safe places for you to so you can recharge. And even you say that you don't like most people, even though you're ready to help them. It doesn't mean you have to like them. It's two different things. But still, with that tendency to stay in your bat cave, as you said, and you need to preserve your energy and the fact that yeah, you know what, all those people you don't like them too much actually. How could you at the same time be promoting collaboration and promoting kindness, spreading kindness, and making kindness contagious? So once again, on paper doesn't make much sense, which I feel very fascinating, and I would love you to explain a little more about that.
I love that you said that, we don't have to like people, right? Like I don't have to like your choices. I don't have to like your hair. I don't have to like, you know, what you do, but if we have the same mission, if we have the same mission to spread kindness and we have the same mission to help others, that's all that matters and that's all that's important, right? If we're playing for the same quote unquote team where we are trying to make the world a better place, absolutely. I'm there. I'm ready to rock and roll. And I've for me to promote and collaborate, it's great. Now I think it's a great time for me to give a shout out to two organizations that I like to work with, and it's We Fight Monsters out of Tennessee. Ben and Jess Owen are doing amazing, amazing work. So the way I help is to spread their mission and help, find donations for their causes. The other one that is very near and dear to me is Love Never Fails out of California. Vanessa and her team are doing absolutely beautiful work, and both are very much in the human trafficking space, which, is very important to me. And I truly believe we can end human trafficking, maybe not in my days or my son's days, but for me, I'm going to keep fighting as hard because I know we're moving the needle, and being a support for their survivors are so important. And I think for me, just collaborating it's just we can get so much more done, right? When you collaborate and share. I'm not an expert in anything except for myself. That's the only thing I'm an expert in. Am I passionate about, ending homelessness and hunger and human trafficking, and ignorance and prejudice? Absolutely. I'm not an expert in anything, but I'm passionate about it and I'm driven, and I'm disciplined and I'm motivated and I'm inspired, so I surround myself with other good humans doing good things. And it's so important. It's so important to, like you said, co collaborate and co inspire each other. Yesterday, Christmas, I spent feeding my unhoused community. And don't get me wrong, I was invited by many people to spend Christmas with them. Or not yesterday, the other day, Christmas Day, whatever day it was. But Theodore and I chose to go feed our unhoused community. And that made me happy, right? That made me happy because that's what I'm about. And it's not because I'm being grinchy or humbuggy. That's how I wanted to spend my day, and that's exactly what I did. And it filled me full of joy. It made me happy. And so, really staying true to yourself and doing what you feel makes you happy. And I do want to say, you're the expert in yourself, and don't let anyone else tell you what's different. And don't you ever compromise your thoughts and feelings to avoid hurting other people's feelings. And it's so important for you to be true to yourself and know your boundaries and limits. I think I can speak for most that we, want to please others, or we used to. We used to want to please others and not hurt feelings, and instead we sacrificed our own happiness and our own feelings and whatnot. So I've learned, after two, not one, but two mental breakdowns, that it's really about, loving yourself first and caring about yourself first. And it's so important to take care of yourself first in order for you to take care of others.
Yeah, and that one is such a critical point. Yeah, and many people don't realize that actually. And like you mentioned, your mother, you're a proud mother, and so many mothers around are sacrificing themselves. They're standing at best third on their list after their kids, after their husband or partner, and many of them are even much lower on that list, and they don't prioritize themselves. And actually, I feel it's a very interesting dance. There's a very fine line, because at the same time, you mentioned that you, on a regular basis, doing things you don't like and you feel very resistant to do, and it goes, beyond your comfort zone, and it goes beyond your natural tendencies and your natural desires, or maybe even needs, and you're still doing that. And it reminds me of probably one of the biggest slaps in my face I ever received from an amazing master coach called Michael Neal. And that he told us, so last year in the summer in Super Coach event, will you let your personal discomfort stand in the way of your mission? That one and it's a real question. You can decide, screw that. I will let my personal discomfort stand in the way. I'm not going to do that. It's beyond my pay grade. It's beyond my capabilities. It's beyond what I want. And I feel so triggered with the whole thing. Hell no, I'm not going there. So it's a personal decision. You can decide, I'm not. I'm not doing that. Or you can be like, yeah, you know what? My mission matters that much. My mission is that important that I'm ready to compromise my comfort zone. And I love what you mentioned. It doesn't have to compromise your values. It doesn't have to compromise what you really need at your core, but really more compromise your natural tendencies, your all the things we tend to do because we've been raised that way, or maybe we had traumas at some time, or we've been betrayed, and so we have the resistance towards certain things like opening up again, or etc. And it makes sense we could be very resistant to all those things, but still it's a choice. Are we ready to let that specific discomfort stand in the way? And we all get to choose.
That's a really great point. And for me, every day is different. Some days I'm like, a little discomfort's not going to kill me, right? But what's going to happen when I get a little uncomfortable? I'm going to learn and I'm going to grow. And I've grown a lot, this past, 6 months, and, some of that is from learning from people like you, that, just do it. and, it's like, I'm not going to die. It's called discomfort. It's just uncomfortable. And it doesn't last forever. And if it means, furthering my mission, furthering my passion, I'm going to do it. Am I going to cry about it? Yeah, for a little bit. I'm going to call Kevin and tell him about it and be like, "Yo, this is what happened." You know. Um and it's okay. Being uncomfortable is okay. Not, being not okay is okay. Um I'm big on like ending generational trauma too, and educating people, um, and consent's a huge thing that I try to teach a lot, of people. My foster daughter is very affectionate. She loves hugs, and she loves, kind of being pet, and I am not so much. And so I had to find a balance in between the two, and so we she's really good at asking for consent instead of just like leeching on to me. She'll ask, and I've learned that when I'm ready to give her hugs, or I'm ready to like hold her hand, I'll hang out in her room. So that's a big green light. If I'm hanging out in her room, that means free hugs. you know, or she's really good at about asking. and and I'm a great hugger. It's not that I don't love, love and affection. It just has to be, on my terms, and I have to be comfortable with it. And I think it's really important, for people to know that. And culturally, for us, when we were younger, we had to hug and kiss our aunties and uncles and whatever. And if we didn't, it was disrespectful. And I think it's really important to give our kids that power and that choice, that it's, their body, their choice, and they can say no, thank you. And it's super duper important. And so I think, yes, you know, follow your goals, your missions, and your passions. And there's a time and place to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not always easy to figure out when the time is right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it doesn't have to be full out all the time. That's the thing. We get to choose. Like not so long ago, a few days ago, after a very intense run, I was exhausted. So usually I do some cold showers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my past me would have been, are you crazy? Like I won't ever do that. But I've been able to do cold showers for many months in a row. And at some point I felt like, you know what? To continue, I want to have at least some level of comfort, some level of taking care of myself and hugging myself in a way, so I can continue and finish what I have to do. So I decided to drop some of my stretches, so I could the whole journey would be more pleasant. So I decided to cut on the cold showers at least for a time, and it felt so good. And that's the thing, because I went from cold shower to warm showers, it felt like a real gift. I didn't took it as granted. It wasn't like, yeah, of course I deserve, I am supposed to have warm showers every morning. That is my birthright. And suddenly when the water is, the heat is cut, suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I can't stand it, it's horrible. Because I was coming from already a long stretch. I was like, hey, warm showers are amazing, but at any time I can get back to cold showers. I already broke that glass ceiling, right? I already achieved something I never imagined I could achieve, because I really don't like cold. So I already won that one. So it's very fascinating. That's the thing. We don't have to explode our entire comfort zone all at once. We can choose. We can go, okay, you know what? Today's agenda, we're going to destroy that barrier. We're focusing on that specific item, and let's see what happens. It doesn't have to be like blowing the whole comfort zone at once. And exactly as you mentioned earlier, what matters most to anyone is taking care of ourselves first. It's our number one duty, always. But still, if we do a too good job, then we stay stuck into a comfort zone, and we are prisoners of our own needs, instant needs and instant gratification. So I feel it's very interesting, that dance, between expanding and growing, and at the same time nurturing our roots and being sure we take good enough care of ourselves. So yeah, before we continue, so guys, we have about 10 minutes left. So if any one of you have a question, now is the time. If not, no worries. We can keep like that, go like that, for hours. But yeah, we will just go for an extra 10 minutes. So 10 minutes before we wrap up. Would you like to add something, Jane, before I ask you?
I just
Not,
wanted to say, when being kind, it's so important to start with yourself. Be kind to yourself and give yourself grace. I know that's something I'm working on. Just know and remember that we're human, and maybe we're on our A game, 4 days a week, and that maybe we didn't finish what we were supposed to finish. Guess what? It's not going anywhere, and you can always do it tomorrow or the next day or whatever. And stop being so hard on yourself, and remember to be kind to yourself. um, I wear this bracelet. It says be kind. I wear it really for myself to remind myself to be kind to myself, and to be kind to others. um, and it's kind of funny that I say that because I'm all about kindness. I had a friend who used to call me Queen of Kindness, and lead with kindness, be kind, all of that to yourself, to your neighbors, to a stranger, to your kids, to your partner, to everybody. It's just do it. It doesn't cost anything. It takes, 7 seconds. And like I said, kindness looks different. It could be a smile, a hello, here, why don't you eat the other half of my sandwich? To here, let me pick up the dry cleaning. Why don't you get the kids or whatever? You know what it is? It's different. But it makes such a huge difference. A like small act is such a huge difference. So, I wear this bracelet every day to remind myself, and it's kind of cool. And other people see it and ask about it, and it's actually Survivor made by Hero Bands. I connected it with the Survivor a few years ago, and this is part of her company, and she makes different ones, but yeah.
So I love that. I love that. It's a full loop. You're helping the survivors, and survivors help you to stay on track
Absolutely.
and stay true to your mission. I love that.
Yeah, I realized at a conference in May, I was coming to support a survivor. She was one of the guest speakers. And, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm here because I'm her hype woman. I'm here to support her. But really, I was there for me. By supporting her, I was supporting me. I was furthering my healing journey. And it like clicked in my head that I help people because it heals me. And so it's almost kind of a selfish act, but the more I help others, the 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 more I heal myself. And so within reason, within boundaries and whatnot. But
And yeah, it reminds me of an amazing quote from James Quick. I'm a huge fan of that man. And self-care is not selfish. So I don't believe what you're doing is selfish. It's not because you're doing that knowing that it also will ripple back on you, and will also be good to you. That is something selfish. You're still helping someone else. Many people might cringe about that, but I see like all those ministry of cults of all religions, and like when they're helping, like Mother Teresa that was cited before, or all those big figures that were helping others. It's for them, they're kind of buying their seat to heaven, right? Or they're getting more karma. If you think about Gandhi, or those kind of people, they're not just doing that out of the kindness of their hearts. Usually, they know consciously or unconsciously, it's rippling back on them. It's also feeding their own soul. It's also, and whatever their religion, whatever their faith, whatever they believe in, or their take on the world. And they know if they're helping someone else, they will get some goodies, some cookies in cookie points in a form or another. And doesn't does it mean it's bad? Does it mean it's evil that they're doing it while knowing they're nurturing themselves at the same time? I believe not. It's just creating beautiful synergy. It doesn't have to. So to me, it's nothing selfish. It's self-care that goes through others, and it's win-win-win. It's everybody wins, right? So why should we apologize for that? Why should we, tell? To me, it doesn't make any sense to feel it's selfish. It's not selfish, at least not in my eyes.
Well, once I realized it, I was just more mindful of how much I was helping. I don't want to help to the point where I'm just, burnt out and exhausted. Um, One really important piece I want to say, when you are helping others and showing kindness, is to really meet them where they're at and remember that they're the expert on themselves. And oftentimes, people just want to be seen and heard. They don't want you to fix their problems. They don't want you to be a hero. So sometimes it looks different. Just be mindful when you do want to help and you want to be kind. Just be mindful of that. That maybe the way you want to help isn't the way they need. So often what I say is, how can I support you? Is a good way. Um, I don't really say how can I help you anymore, because I don't know. I changed it to how can I support you? Um, or what do you need? Um, so just kind of being mindful. And you know what? Sometimes people don't want it, and it's okay. You just move on. You move on to the next person, and also not to let negative experiences um, ruin it for you. And know and be aware that you can't help someone who doesn't want help, and to reserve your energy for those who do.
That everything you just said at the end, it's so very powerful. I feel many people do that, and those are mistakes, but they're coming with good intentions, and they
Mm-hmm.
are facing a wall, and they hurt themselves and maybe even the other person, and it feels bad, and they're like, oh, if it's like that, then I'm not helping anyone anymore. That's it, I'm done. And I feel it's too bad. And that's the thing. If you know a few basic, I don't like the idea of calling them rules, maybe guidelines, or maybe, I'm not sure how to call them, but yeah, but exactly following what you just said, like never trying to help someone that doesn't want to. Like we have that saying in French, don't give water to a donkey that is not thirsty. The same, like the image of the donkey is quite strong, because you know how stubborn and very firm they tend to be. So it works like, no, it's not right. If they don't want your help, don't try to help them against their will. Like it doesn't make any sense. And I really really love, how you mentioned that, to really accept that they might know better. Like you might have a PhD, you might be a doctor in whatnot. It doesn't make you, it makes you officially the specialist. But are you really? Like I tend to have a lot of distance with that. You might be specialized in your field. You might have learned a lot of things. Well, the thing is, exactly as you mentioned, they're the absolute experts in themselves,
Yes.
and
Oh,
it might be beyond the scope of what you learn and what you experience so far. So just throwing away your title, your PhD or whatnot, um, yeah, might not be the best way to help those people, or just maybe like if you've been helping people for 30 years, if you've been a frontliner your whole life, it doesn't mean you're an expert in that specific person with their specific problems. I feel it's extremely powerful. And we are all unique, so we can be sure there's always exceptions, and there are always people that are beyond our capabilities and our skills. So yeah, it's very powerful. Thank you so much for that, for your
Oh,
deep wisdom.
oh, absolutely. It's really important to meet people where they're at.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and you know what, Kevin? Not everybody likes me, and I'm okay with that. People either love me or they hate me, and I'm totally okay with it. You know, someone might connect with you and not with me, or vice versa, right? But if we have the same mission, and you know, we lead with kindness and we lead with love and good intentions, it's to create a better world.
I love that. That's perfect final words to close the session. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy so Jane Luong's wisdom and teeth and claws as well. Even though you didn't see them that much. And yeah, I love what you added, Royce, again. And yeah, I feel we're complete. Do you want to say a few last words before we close for good?
I do. I just want to say thank you, Kevin, and thank you for our audience for showing up and listening and hearing. Hopefully, you grabbed one or two things that resonated with you. And just remember that we're all human and to be kind to ourselves and give ourselves grace and to be kind to others.
Perfect. So, guys, I wish you a wonderful rest of your holiday season. So next week I will welcome Ollie Hendricks. So we will go in a very different vibe. It's gonna be fantastic as well. And for today, Jen, I'm so glad that you accepted my invitation and that you decided to stretch a little bit. And too bad, guys, you weren't enough to respond. So no tattoo, no flesh unveiled to you. Yeah, maybe next time. Or a little bit of flesh still. You're lucky. All right. Thank you so much and see you very soon. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye bye.